Loyola University basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer.
Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to leave.
Sheryl Swoopes just got fired. That's right, the same person who was trash-talking Caitlin Clark has been served her share of karma, and honestly, it is hilarious to watch.
There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Yeah, now listen.
Sheryl Swoopes has been running her mouth for months and acting like the queen of basketball opinions by saying that nobody is interested in playing alongside Caitlin Clark. But now, it feels like karma has just body slammed Swoopes and sent her packing.
Sheryl Swoopes made some comments some months ago. She made a point to state that people were unhappy in Indiana. She claims to have sources or what she's heard, but we know by now that every time Sheryl Swoopes opens her mouth, it's a lie. It's just another lie.
Swoopes had made it her personal mission to mess with Caitlin Clark and tarnish her reputation by painting her as a locker room pariah. Not only that, she had even claimed that no one wanted to join Indiana Fever. But we all know what happened during the free agency in the past few days. Caitlin Clark completely flipped the script of Sheryl Swoopes on her head and signed the best free agents available for her team.
So let's start with the Indiana Fever because they were awarded the highest grade of an A. So do you guys remember during the Indiana Fever's season when fans and media personalities were saying that they would be surprised if anyone wanted to play in Indiana because of their toxic fan base, because there was problems in the locker room? Well, all of that seemed to be pushed to the side because Indiana Fever has become the destination for WNBA.
That's absolutely correct. Clark's team didn't just sign some random people. They roped in the topmost athletes and veterans of the WNBA, such as the six-time All-Star Dawana Bonner, three-time champion Natasha Howard, and longtime veterans such as Sydney Colson and Brianna Turner.
When it comes to the WNBA, the Indiana Fever have the best starting five. They have the best point guard in the league. They have the best backcourt in the league. They have the best shooting guard. They have Dawana Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard.
These signings were crucial in expanding the Indiana Fever's roster and demonstrated that WNBA players are eager to play alongside the Rookie of the Year and share the locker room with her. This fact came as a metaphorical punch to Sheryl Swoopes and proved her claims to be absolutely bogus and fake with no basis in reality whatsoever.
Oh boy, Sheryl Swoopes not looking good right now. Somebody go tell Sheryl Swoopes, miserable ass, so I can see her crash out. Caitlin Clark effect, WNBA, yeah.
Let's be honest, this is exactly what happens when you bet against the most influential rookie of all time and the greatest generational talent the WNBA has ever seen. You end up getting humiliated with probably an egg dripping down your face.
But it's always been a need to discredit and dismiss and diminish anything Caitlin Clark touches when it comes to Sheryl Swoopes. So tell me, Sheryl, what do you have to say now? What do you have to say now?
Here's the interesting thing. Sheryl Swoopes really thought she could get away with her bold claims and nobody would question her afterwards. I mean, Swoopes was audacious enough to make up stuff as she went out of her way to hate on Caitlin Clark. But when the free agency started and her claims started to explode in her face, she disappeared entirely.
So what the hell are you talking about, Sheryl? Will you ever come back and ever say for once in your goddamn life, I was wrong one time? No, you won't.
That's correct. Sheryl Swoopes has a history of making blunders when it comes to Caitlin Clark. She has made countless remarks of controversy against the Rookie of the Year and never even clarified her statements, let alone apologize for them. Now, all of a sudden, Swoopes is nowhere to be found. She's quiet, like a kid who just got caught lying about doing their homework. If she had any shame, she'd be issuing an apology right now, but we all know she won't, because that's what bitter haters do.
And now it's an attractive place for free agents to come, and I think that long term, they were thinking about that.
I don't know what other people were thinking of, no one was going to go there with her and they're not going to want to play with someone like that. But like, why would you not want to play with somebody like that? Like,
that don't make no sense.
Let's not be dumb here. Like, we're all basketball players at the end of the day.
Now, I'm here to tell you, this is her basically calling out Sheryl Swoopes. She's basically saying that is a dumb notion that don't nobody want to go to Indiana.
Sheryl Swoopes not only questioned the Fever's locker room, but also claimed that Kelsey Mitchell was not happy with Clark's team. She also went on to claim that she could be potentially leaving her team. Can you believe these claims?
And personally, here's where I think they did do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
Sheryl allegedly said that Kelsey had become an unrestricted free agent because she was not celebrated enough. Well, hate to break it to you, Sheryl, but Kelsey Mitchell has signed another contract with Caitlin Clark's team, and she couldn't be much happier.
Something happened yesterday, and that is Kelsey Mitchell re-signed with the Indiana Fever. Well, wait a minute. No, that's not what Sheryl Swoopes said was going to happen. I mean, she was going to get out of a toxic situation, right? Maybe not.
That's correct. Sheryl ran with this bold, and by bold, I mean completely ridiculous narrative that Clark's team has more locker room beef than a WWE SmackDown event. She even insinuated that Kelsey Mitchell was leaving. But let's be real, her claims aged worse than an unrefrigerated carton of milk. Kelsey didn't prove just Sheryl wrong. She bulldozed her entire narrative into oblivion by signing an extension deal with the Indiana Fever.
Wait a minute now. That wasn't supposed to happen, was it? A loving embrace? A loving embrace between Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark.
Did you see that? Kelsey is ecstatic after signing with the Fever, and her respect and love for Clark has only increased, contrary to Sheryl and her ridiculous claims. I mean, the sheer irony here is almost too much to handle. Swoopes kept screaming that Clark was a problem, but her claims disappeared faster than Thanos could snap. The Fever didn't just get some free agents, they secured legendary players and seasoned vets who saw Clark's potential and wanted in on the action.
What has it meant to see the franchise all in on you and this team with the new practice facility, landing these free agents, and really being all in on women as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, honestly. This is the franchise in all of women's sports, I say. No matter what sport it is, they're certainly investing. They see the type of crowds we get. They see the excitement we're generating, not only in the state of Indiana, but all across the country. And I think the next few years are going to be amazing for this franchise, and will continue to be for hopefully 10 plus years, and hopefully we win a few championships.
Talk about a mic drop moment. Caitlin Clark just bodied every single one of her haters by absolutely dominating the free agency market. While people like Sheryl Swoopes were busy spinning their fake narratives, Clark's team were making moves like a chess grandmaster on steroids. And here's where things get interesting. Clark herself has stated that her franchise is the main franchise to look out for in the entire women's sports. Talk about confidence, right?
Like Caitlin said, the Indiana Fever have become the franchise of all women's sports. We have never seen anything like this.
You see, winning free agency isn't just about signing players. It's about convincing highly talented and proven athletes that your team is the real deal. And that's exactly what Clark and her team did. They didn't just attract players, they attracted some of the best and most experienced names in the game. Players who don't sign up for nonsense. Players who know championships inside and out.
I believe it's been reported they have 4 of the top 25 scorers from last season in their starting lineup. Howard, Bonner, Mitchell, Clark. Coming off the bench, they now have Sophie Cunningham. Coming off the bench, they now have Lexi Hall. We still have Damaris Dantas, and you know how she can light it up from 3. What team is competing with that?
Let's be honest, Indiana Fever didn't have a lack of talent in the first place. They just lacked wisdom that comes from experience in the playoffs, and this free agency has removed that as well. The Fever finally has a dream team of battle-tested veterans ready to school the competition. So while Swoopes and the haters sit around like skulking kids, Caitlin Clark and the Fever are busy stacking W's.
Not only have we upgraded the power forward spot, not only did we upgrade our coach, we brought in Dewana Bonner. We upgraded our bench. We have depth. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Jaylen Brown off the bench. We're still going to go out and probably get another guard either overseas or in the draft.
Brianna Turner, Dewana Bonner, and Sydney Colson are not dumb. These people are seasoned vets, players who have seen it all and understand what it takes to win trophies. If Caitlin Clark and her team were truly the dysfunctional mess that Swoopes made them out to be, these veterans wouldn't dare touch them with a 10-foot pole. But the reality is the complete opposite of what Sheryl claims.
We always knew. We knew that Sheryl Swoopes had no information. We always knew. We always knew she was lying. We always knew all of her comments are clouded with hate and despising the one and only Caitlin Clark. We've known this.
These veterans know a winning team when they see it, so when they saw Clark with her teammates, they saw opportunity as well as potential, and they saw Caitlin Clark as a player worth teaming up with. And now, with so many top-tier players choosing the Fever, Swoopes' wild takes just got shoved into the dumpster and blasted into space. So what do you think? Is Sheryl a pathological liar, or is she just confused? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more basketball updates. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.